3 more minutes we will wait, and then we will start off like because it's a group assignment and we need more people in each group. Yeah, Mr. Shahid.
Sir, thank you. No, I mean, out of curiosity, I was just asking, do you have this full-fledged paper for your MBA students and the engineering students also in NIT Rourkela?
Which subject?
The subject of sustainability and ESG?
Actually, no, it is not here in NIT Rourkela, but in previous institution, I introduced the subject of sustainability in my previous institution. Here we have a corporate governance, so because introducing a new subject is a tedious job here.
Yes,
but we are in process. We are in process of introducing the subject.
I think those will be the lucky students to get it direct, to get a direct download from you face to face and also virtual.
Not exactly, sir. There are a lot many people are here who have expertise in this area.
Yeah, but thank you for organizing this. There's a lot of learning. Thank you.
Most welcome, sir. Most welcome. So by the time, let me explain you the process so that if anybody will come and join, the team will explain them what exactly the procedure is and how they need to proceed further. Don't worry, this is the previous old agenda, so I'm not going to teach you anything here in this session. It will be purely discussion based, and at this point of time, in another somewhere around 1 hour 50 minutes, your participation will be required. So we have gone through these GRI standards, universal standards, and in this particular session, we will be considering and targeting our specific standards. These 34 topic specific standards are there, and if you go through this GRI G4 part 1, in that is a previous one. Basically, that was a GRI G4 standards. They have revised it in a new one where it is 200 and 300 and 400 is there. So almost all the specific standard disclosures are almost remain same. You have to go through that GRI G4 specific standard disclosures, and you'll find out that economic, environmental, and social disclosures are there. Somewhere around 88 or 91 odd numbers are there for including all these 3 different disclosures. So you'll have to pick that only. You are not supposed to go to universal standards, because in universal standards we are considering 103. That is a materiality topic which we have discussed in our few of the presentations also. That what you can say, how we have to select, like we have these disclosures which are available here. The topic specific standards are here. So what we need to do is that in like we will be grouping you in a different teams, or you will be automatically shifted to the different set of teams, and there you have to go through this GRI G4 part 1, and in that what you need to do is, as we have discussed in the materiality topic, accordingly you need to list out your materiality topics or disclosures which you as a company need to enlist and work on that area in which you are like working and publishing your sustainability report or ESG report, you can say. So you will have to consider a group as a MSME. Keep in mind MSME I'm saying. So the constraints will be there for that. So you have to consider yourself as a MSME, a micro, small and medium enterprise in a manufacturing sector. 2 conditions. 1, you have to consider yourself as a MSME, that too in a manufacturing sector. And you have to go through this GRI G4 part 1, these specific standard disclosures. There you'll find out somewhere around 91 different disclosures are there. As a team, what you want to put in your kitty. For example, in economic, you want to put someone, one of the indicator or disclosure in your kitty. You are putting it. That's really good. If you are removing one of the indicator, you need to mention that why you are removing that. Materiality topic, which we have discussed, means suppose if I don't want to consider, for example, scope 3 of emissions in environmental dimension. So why I am not considering there, that you need to mention the reason why you are not considering in your reporting procedure. So that you need to mention. This is what you need to do in another 1 hour 50 minutes of the duration. This might be an extended one. So I'll be grouping you all in a different set of 4 to 5 different groups. So one group may be having around 10 to 12 people. You may deviate, or you may what you can say, divide your work. For example, economics, some 2-3 people are working on economic, 4-5 people are working on environmental, or 6-7 people are working on social. Because for your convenience, let me tell you, social have a maximum number of disclosures. Then we have environmental, and economic have a very lesser number of disclosures. So accordingly, you need to divide the job role and responsibility of the group members for selecting or rejecting any of the disclosure which you want to keep in your sustainability report for the company. What you need to do is that you need to you need to use an Excel file here. The selected disclosures, make a list, economic, environmental, and social, make a list, and in a one line you need to mention, 1 or 2 line if you want to make. You have to make that why you have picked up that particular disclosure, and one table you need to make in Excel itself, that those disclosures which you have rejected, which you have not included in your sustainability, you are not willing to include in your sustainability report. So that you need to do, and by after somewhere around 50 minutes of this exercise, we'll come back as a group and discuss, and let's see who will have a very close or a perfect disclosures. Which group is going to make a perfect disclosures for his or her company? Is that clear to each and everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
And the thing is that if like MSME ministry, consider us as a MSME ministry, so we made it very mandatory for ESG reporting in MSMEs. And if you because you guys are MSME company, and if you are not abiding by our rule, we will be cancelling the Udyog Aadhar, which used to be given to each and every MSME. So that will be cancelled, and then as a MSME, you will not be able to entertain any of the benefits which are provided by MSME ministry or the different set of ministries or NSIC, etc. So this is what a small role play kind of thing is here. But with the help of this, you'll learn more about the GRI and sustainability. So at this point of time, including me, we have 60 participants. So 59 are there. So we'll divide into 7 groups, so that maybe later if people are joining, or 6 group we are dividing. And you'll be automatically shifted to one of the groups. The process has been initiated. It may take 2 to 3 minutes of time. Oh, very fast. We are opening the sessions. We are opening these rooms. So you will be shifting to each and respective rooms. And you have to remember your room number. I'll be here in the meeting itself. I'll be jumping on and in each of the groups. So if any kind of assistance you need, I'll be there to help you out, guys.
ஹலோ அக்கா நேற்று வந்து அந்த 5 கிராம் கோல்டு இருக்கு அது இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ஒரு போஸ்ட் ஆஃபீஸ் இருக்கு அங்க இதெல்லாம் ஓப்பன் பண்ண முடியாதா அம்மாக்கு அது குட்டி ஆஃபீஸா சரி சரி வந்தா அங்கதான் வரணும் இல்லைங்களா ஓகே சரிங்கக்கா சரி ஓகே ஓகே
Hello. So this is Chakravarti here. I'm not exactly finding which room I am into, sir. Hello. Hello. Sir, good afternoon. I think I got Mr. Abhishek, Anupam Parikh, Arunima Sharan, Duggal sir, Kamalakant, Suresh Tripathi, and Manvendra sir. Hello, anyone in the group to talk about the GR1? Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm also wondering about the same thing, but
Yeah, I'm just wondering. We can start off. I think we are an MSME company into manufacturing. I think we can start working on as if we are manufacturing something of wax candle preparation, a small scale industry. We can talk about. We can try to put this as our MSME organization.
yeah, but if the group has been decided here, then how can we?
And
go
I'm not
further?
finding
So-
anyone. That's not only we two are there. I'm not finding. I think other people are there inside.
Yeah,
You, somebody.
will definitely.
Yeah, I'm here, sir. I'm Mr. Tripathi here, sir, from OET.
Yeah. I
I'm
can see
listening
you
you,
here.
sir. Yeah.
Then what else we can do? How to move about for this GR1 standards for our company in order to get the approval from the Ministry of Industries or MSME industry? We can go with universal standards, or we can I think we can start working on with the universal standards directly. The principles, requirements and principles, what exactly are required in order to initiate our manufacturing unit. I think everyone, all others are in mute condition. Yeah, with reference to our organization, for example, if we take into consideration some manufacturing unit, taking into consideration the wax candle industry, a small scale industry, what exactly we can put up for what exactly would be the impacts with reference to ERG? Would be one is trying to get the natural resource of what do you call our wax content, that is one of the raw material. Then smoking part is the pollution, noise pollution would not be there. It's only air pollution would be there for this particular industry. And procuring this raw material should be from sugarcane industry, ethanol. Through ethanol, we try to make a spirit, and through spirit, we have to go for this wax molds and wax making thing. So how exactly it can impact our environmental conditions, I think that's what we can start discussing on. Hopefully others can join us once we initiate something. Abhishek sir, you can put up something on this. This is room 4. Where are we now? Chart participants. I think our room number is 4. గంట పడుతుంది నాన్న. నాకు తెలిసేవాళ్ళు Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Anyone in the room number 4, please?
Yes, sir. I am there. Meenal,
Yes,
Dr.
ma'am.
Meenal.
Yes, ma'am. We can start, ma'am, with reference to our industry. Which industry we're planning to go about? How exactly we can start working on the implementation and other policies to work on for getting approval from MSME with reference to year 14, part 1.
Actually, what has to be done?
For example, that's what I think. I just having interaction with one more, sir. We can take into consideration as if we are starting a manufacturing, a small scale industry, some small scale industry, whichever you feel. Either a sugar mill would be a large scale industry, and if we talk about a wax candle is a small scale industry. Wax candle, one is the raw material. Second would be the only, not there won't be any kind of noise pollution. Only the air pollution would be there, and a little bit of effluent pollution would be there. I think taking these two into consideration, we can start working on those standards. We can talk either economic standards, or we can talk about the social standards. Each point we can start discussing on, and somebody can work on the Excel sheet to get the approval from the ministry.
Can you pardon, sir?
We can start working on the two categories, madam. One, we will talk about the economic based standards and societal based standards. Let's take in consideration the category for our standards would be: one is economic, second is societal or social, third one is environmental. Am I clear, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
So under economics, let's talk about the performance of our organization, how it would be, and how is our how can we move about with reference to our market presence, and we can talk about indirect impact on the economics based on our industry, especially in the economic category. If we go to social, we can start working on the labor practices and decency in work, human rights, and how it's going to affect our society. Under environmental, we can talk about the energy, biodiversity, emissions, transport, and other things. I think these are the points which can be worked on without the guidelines based on the GR1, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Sir, anyone else are there in the group? Abhishek sir, I think you are online.
Yes, I'm also there, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Karishma, ma'am. I think these are the three criteria we can start working on. If somebody can put some light on these things, how exactly we can get, again, how exactly we can get the approval from the department, how to make these report for the approvals based on the socio-economy and environmental things. Somebody can note down some points if it's okay for somebody. For this industry, let's try to take into consideration 3 categories. One is let's go with economic category, let's go with social category, and third one, let's go with environmental category. Is there somebody who can help me out in writing down in order to make that report? I think Shiru Sharma ji is online, SK Tripathi ji is online, Krishma Jain madam you are online, and Arunima Sharan madam is online, and Abhishek sir is already there since 10 minutes. Abhishek sir, can you note down the points? Based on that, we can try to make a report. Or anyone else would be interested to start working on the documentation so that we can start working on the reports? Anyone? Sir, without the support of all the stakeholders, all of us are stakeholders in the company. Without anyone's support, we cannot move ahead with reference in order to make that report, sir. All of us are a team of stakeholders. We are holding a company and we must get approval from the department with reference to ESG.
So how have to proceed, sir? I'm not getting that.
Yes, ma'am. It's very simple, madam. Now we are planning for a company. Now we have to get approval from Ministry of Small Scale Industry or Industrial Ministry with reference to ESG. ESG standards, how exactly we are.
What you have planned to have something.
No, that's what I already said. Like, let us plan for a very, very small industry, candle industry, candle manufacturing unit. Let's talk about a candle manufacturing, a very small industry. I think the workforce would be around 20 to 30 would be there, and electric current might not go beyond 2 megawatt power is 2 kV is 2 to 4 kV is sufficient. And for candle, we have to get the raw material. We have to get from sugar industry. Some molds from manufacturing industry we have to get. These are the raw materials. And pollutants would be mostly the effluents would be there. So that is water pollution would be there. There won't be much of noise pollution, and there would be air pollution.
Of course.
Now these are the points. Now with reference to our GR1 report, what are the standards we have to work on? The categories we can try to break down. We can try to break down the category as economic category, social category, and environmental category.
Yes, sir.
Under economic,
That's right.
Yeah, once we go for economic category, we can take into consideration the performance, economic performance, our market presence. There are plenty of other competitors in the market.
Absolutely right,
And
sir.
and talking about the practices in procuring the raw materials, either packaging materials or manufacturing or the machineries and other things.
Packaging and then moving it to the customer, right?
Customer, yeah. So these are economic part.
Yes.
Now, if we talk about environmental part, hopefully you're noting the points if you don't mind.
Yes.
So
We
anyone
are
else?
going on the right path, sir. It's good, sir.
Hopefully, madam. Hopefully, we're not wrong. So second one we will talk about.
So at least we just
So second one we'll talk about.
so I hope we are done with, no, sir.
Yeah, we have done that with that. But again, now how to make that report? Now, what are all the factors or the aspects required? Now we have to make a generalized Excel sheet report for the approvals.
Excel sheet. Oh.
Now we have to get the approval from the industrial ministry, no, madam.
But we have to present it, no, sir.
I think some Excel sheet. We can just note down the points, and based on that, how would be the effluents or the green, something like green
Sir,
gases
whatever
effluents.
you have noted, sir, that is right also. All those points we will be considering, and we will discuss on that issues.
Yeah, we will start discussing, man. I think in our group we have mostly we are 14 people.
We
Sorry,
are
21 people
so
we
we
are.
are ready with our presentation. So at least we are able to present.
Yeah, we can present it, but if somebody is there who can make a presentation to Singh sir, so that it would be easy. Taking these points into consideration, how exactly it's going to impact stakeholders or impact the government or impact the environment.
Um,
Abhishek sir, you're online.
Is anyone here? Sir? Madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonders.
And session is going on. Actually, it is a participative session, so might be some of the members are not in the groups.
Sir, I'm just trying to interact with our group team, sir. But
Yes.
I think we just got, I think 2 or 3 people are online.
No problem, sir. No problem.
We were just discussing, and I think knowing and we have to give an Excel
Yes, sir,
sheet
even I am
presentation
there.
kind of thing, sir, at the end of the session. Yeah, madam is there.
Yes.
So shall we have to give any kind of Excel sheet kind of presentation with reference to that format? With reference to that ESG?
Yes. With the group, no, it's not a presentation actually. Only thing is that whatever you are writing in our Excel sheet, that you need to show us as a group. That's it.
Sir, can we only explain the things? Is it necessary to show the things?
Not necessary to explain much, but yes, if we will have a doubt, then obviously you need to explain that why you have not included.
Yes, at least we can do that.
Yeah, obviously. I'm not saying that you have to have expertise into that area. Not exactly, but only thing is that based on your understanding, why you have included and why you have not included. That's it.
So, madam, based on that, I think we can start discussing on what are things we would like to include in this GR1.
Like?
And that's why I told you, like economic factors, societal factors, environmental factors. What are things we can include for the industry?
Yes, sir.
I think I was got muted almost 15-20 minutes back. I think Sarah has given us time only until 4:20 to close the rooms. So before 4:20, we must be in a position to come out with some conclusion, like with some factors why we are trying to include this and why we are not including.
And so you need to name your company also. Any manufacturing MSME.
Got it, sir. Madam.
Yes, sir.
I think we can start writing down points. Sir was insisting on the name of the company also.
Sir, you have those things already, na? You have jotted down, na, sir?
Yeah, the points only we have put it down, but why we have to include this point and why we should not include that point? Those things we have to include them. Why we are planning to put up this factor and why not that factor?
Hello.
Sir, tell me, sir.
Hello.
Sir, tell me, sir. It's audible.
Sir, sorry for interruption. You have called me, but there was some technical issue in between. So
I understand. I understand, sir.
Sorry, I joined back. So you have talked about a wax company, no? And you are talking only about the economic, social and environmental factor. But the question is about the disclosures which are inside. Matlab, all the. It's about the economic performance.
Yes, sir.
About the marketing. What is the how you
yes, sir.
create a market presence? What is the economic? So why you are including and not including this in your wax company? So
GRI report, sir.
So first I'll note all the points that you have mentioned. So can you tell me the name of the company, because it's an MSME company, wax? It's Your case is of wax.
We can call it as Bharat Candle Industry.
Huh?
That's okay. Bharat Candle Industry.
Bharat Candle Industry. Okay.
I think that would be sufficient. It's not. It's exactly a small. It would be basically a small scale industry. It might not be medium or other size. It's very small scale industry.
Okay. So Bharat Candle.
Yeah.
Because I'm writing it down. I'm writing on the word file. So please a little slow and patient.
Yes, surely, sir. Surely, not at all a problem, sir.
Okay. So
now let us start off with our economic factors internally. The market reach and our competitors. This thing we can start working on.
Okay. So economic factors. Economic factors are from 2001 to 2010.
Sir.
201. GRI 201 is for direct economic value. 201-1 is direct economic value generated and distributed. So
okay.
To add this to the to your company, or you want to remove
sir,
it?
Sir, it is not my company. It is our company, sir. Now.
Our company. Sorry. sorry. Definitely. 201 performance. That is direct economic value generated and distributed, which is revenue. So we have to include that because
we have to include that.
Because
yeah, tell me please.
Revenue generation is we have to generate revenues. Hello?
Sir, audible.
Audible. So what we have to do is, the first point is, if we are generating revenues, so this is to TSG 201.1, which deals with revenue generation or giving value to the customer. What's your stake?
There are two things, sir. Here in economics, we have got two things.
Okay.
Basically, the raw materials we have to procure from a government sugarcane industry.
Okay.
Right. So directly we are trying to generate two types of revenues. One is generating revenue for the government, and second one is generating revenue for ourselves by selling in the market.
Okay.
Because the raw materials, I can say around 70% raw materials are from government sugarcane industry.
Yeah. But there is no disclosures. Yeah. Please.
You can go in this way steps B2G and B2C.
But if you go around what the disclosure is, there are only 4 disclosures under the economic factors or economic performance. Under economic factors, we have 10 disclosures. I'll read it out for you. It's economic performance, marketing presence, indirect impact, and procurement practices. So what sir has said, it's under GRI 204, which is the procurement practices. And then we have an anti-corruption. This is under the anti-competitive. So we are including what sir has the procurement practices. Or what I think was the first was GRE to 201.1, which is around which is the revenue generation, what MSME exactly look for, and 202, which is of marketing presence.
And even with that economic indirect economic impacts is directly helping out the government also. Because we are trying to procure we are planning to procure the raw materials from the government organizations.
So in economic factors,
So we are putting up all the 4 things are required for under economic category, right?
Infrastructure investment and service supported. 4
infrastructure in
because a tax for a new MSME, no?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Anti-corruption is not a
Anti-corruption for this industry. Yeah, if we're trying to procure from government organizations the raw materials, some corruption is there in that.
okay.
There would be some corruption until unless you pay it, you won't get the raw material from them. So we can try to include that practices also, wherein we are against the corruption kind of thing.
So we are including all the
Yes, sir.
all closures of the economic factor. That's fine.
Yes, sir. Shall we go to the our environmental factors, or we'll go over societal factors?
I have to write this, and because you have to create a word file.
Yeah,
No?
slowly. Got
Be
it.
patient.
Got it. Yeah,
10 minutes.
slow and steady. Sir, everybody, if you are in the group, please come forward and we can start discussing on these things. Everyone. Sirs and madams, if you got any doubts or clarification, we can put it up online, because we just got another 10 minutes time only to wrap up. At 4:20, Manvendra sir is going to close our rooms.
Now, are your suggestions for social?
We have got society, we have got responsibility of the product and human rights.
So, social. city and equal. This is it.
So shall we talk about the labor practices now?
Social factors, what are the key points which has to be noted?
Yeah, key things. One is the labor practices.
Okay.
Second one would be the societal factors.
So we'll include all because
Yeah,
labor and society.
Yeah, labor, society, we have got the responsibility of the product and the human rights. Under human rights, I think investment, there won't be much investment. Child labor, we are not going to go over for child labor. Security practices, we are not into any restricted kind of manufacturing. So security also not much is there. Human rights assessment, there won't be any kind of, because we are planning to go about only for 15 to 20 people or labor. So not much of human rights thing would be there. Even human rights grievance mechanism is also would not be there here. Because however, we are planning to recruit people only from local area. And with reference to discrimination also, region, creed, anything, nothing is there. We can recruit both the women and men.
Okay.
And labor laws would not be there here. It's a small company, so labor laws, no need for any kind of labor laws. There won't be any kind of association, anything. If the labor goes beyond 100, if it's going to be a medium scale industry, then we can think about the labor management, other things.
So any standard which we want to follow, like ISO?
ISO standards, basically for this kind of industry, there won't be any ISO standards technically, because it's a generalized product need of any country. So ISO standards for manufacturing of this product might not be there. If we talk about something electric or electronic based equipments or those kind of manufacturing, I think then we have to follow some EC standards, EC standards and ISO standards for manufacturing.
But
yeah, please, sir.
There are some factors which are overlapping for economic and social, because we are taking there at economic factors and we are neglecting. So,
It's something like not all the factors would be included because the factors vary from what we are manufacturing.
okay.
Basically, almost all the factors, they vary from the product what we are planning to develop, right? So if we talk about any software company, then we require the ISO standards and ISO standards of security and assessment, then SCI CMM levels and ISO levels we require for software development company, which also comes under medium scale industry. But right now we're talking about only manufacturing of candles.
So there are standards which are there for manufacturing industries also.
Manufacturing of candle?
Manufacturing of candle, not sure, but
yeah, that's what. Because I have not seen any kind of ISO standards on any packages of candles. Manufacturing, yeah, like you said, like manufacturing process also.
FS. Okay.
FS,
No,
FS, I think it won't be there. So these are only my view. If you feel like, yeah, there are something you can put it up. This is only my view. It's a teamwork. Now all of us have to work together, discuss together, and come out with a conclusion.
Somebody else.
Anyone else can put up some light on this? Just note down those our standard points in that, and let us discuss if something comes out.
So environment, the next is the environment factor. Social is labor practice and decent work. I have included that. Human rights I have excluded.
Yeah, human rights is not there here. It's not under the purview of this small industry.
But okay. Maybe.
Environmental, yes. We have got water pollution, we have got air pollution, and there won't be any noise pollution in that.
Environmental factors. There should be waste generation by because
sir,
the basic byproduct of petrol distillation also create wax, and
yes, sir.
And bagasse is used also for candle making.
Yes, sir. 100%, sir.
So, so the byproduct of waste is used for recreational activity. So environmental, do environment affect?
It is green energy for us. It's something like the waste and byproduct of petroleum industry we are using here.
So there should be any guideline for the environmental factors, or
that is, I think on environmental factor we have got effluents and waste. Now, these effluents we can take into consideration. Effluents and waste of the petroleum industry.
Okay.
Chakravarti sir and Tripathi sir, only 2 more minutes.
Sir, we are trying for others, so we are not getting there. We are not getting through.
No problem, sir. You are doing your best.
We're trying to make our best, sir. That's it. Yes, sir. I think effluents and waste products, we are getting it from them. So indirectly, we are helping out the petroleum industry in clearing up their wastages. And one more environmental is we can put it as our energy.
Energy?
Yeah, I think minimal electricity is used for this. Without electrical energy also, we can manufacture them just boiling the byproduct and putting up what do you call that, thread inside in a molds.
So
only 2 kV. Most of the candle industry, they would be using 2 kV energy. Even if there is no electrical, if there is no current also, people can go about in manufacturing these candles.
Okay. What I think is that as I'm going through the GRI report, the environment aspects include that the type of product. Is it a product or a service? What are the compliance? It's a product that I have included it. The compliance, the association, the inventory of or the waste from one. What is the transportation? What is the exactly what is the distance and what is the transportation required? So the way and then it is a supplier environmental assessment and environmental grievance mechanism. So these are the subheads of the environment indicators.
Let us start off with first point, sir. Which one is the first point?
First point is what is compliance. Compliance.
Tripathi sir, time over.
Yeah, 420. Yeah, 422. We are 2 minutes forward. Tripathi sir, now whatever we have made it. Let us compile it and let's try to put it up on and we'll discuss.
Okay.
I think we have completed all the three factors. No, one is we have completed the economic factor, we have completed the social factor and environmental factor. To some extent, we were able to complete.
Yes.
I think let us freeze this up and let us put forward with Manvendra sir and let us see.
Okay, people, is it possible for you to share the document in the chat box? But I think chat box is disabled, it seems.
Yeah, I think 420 was the timeline Manvendra sir has given to us.
Okay, so I will do one. Okay, right.
The forum is open to all the groups, so like.
Tripathi sir, if not, you can put up that Word document on WhatsApp group. Room number 4.
I think we can share it. We have our Excel to share.
Here you can share. Here
In
you can share
room
on your
number
WhatsApp.
4, in room number 4, we have continued with the exercise, but we could not complete. But still, we have the Excel sheet.
You have time, madam. By the time when we are joining back, you have a time to jot it down. No problem.
Sir, room number 1 we have completed also.
Great.
Room number 4, 80% we have completed, sir.
Number 4 has sent you the sheet, sir, on your private chat and also to Alka ma'am.
So almost everybody is here, hopefully.
Yeah, Dr. Clement, I have shared
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
WhatsApp. Please check.
Sir, I have shared on the group also.
Ma'am, Anshu ma'am, I have received it. I have clubbed it with my part. I just want to receive it from, I think, the environment part. So I don't know how I will receive it. Do you have a contact number of it?
I'm sure I don't have right now.
So now we all are on a common platform. Back to 0.
Yes, sir.
So this
hello,
real-time exposure was, how about this real-time exposure?
Yes.
Sir, it is breathtaking, sir. Wait. Just within 2 days of exposure with GRI and ESG. But yes, it is quite.
This might have been more hectic.
Yeah, it should have been more hectic, but yes, by God's grace, based on small guidelines we received from you, were able to cope up with some
technical hiccups, sir. Nothing else. Technical hiccups. I think next time we are able to do it.
That you need to consider, because here in such a situation when we are meeting, that is again
Yes,
like here in my institute, I would say my institute is closed for this week, because here we have a lot many cases are there. But still we are running this program, so just because we are getting so much of participation. So okay,
Tripathi,
guys.
sir. Tripathi sir, I'm sorry, sir. Tripathi sir, room number 4. Have we uploaded it, sir?
Let's see how many have uploaded that. Room number 3 have uploaded. Room number 5 have uploaded here. So can some group number 1? Group number 1.
Room number 1 already uploaded.
Ma'am, you kindly upload it off, ma'am. Anuradha ma'am, Shahid.
Yeah, doing it.
Yeah, thanks, ma'am.
Tripathi sir, room number 4.
Thank you for this exercise, sir. And thank you for not putting us up in the real corporate environment. We would have goofed up. But in the short span of time, we really brainstormed very well. And thanks to Anuradha ma'am, very nicely captured. And we were lucky to have a person from Bamboo, Samirji, who became our consultant ultimately.
Wow.
So,
No.
Samiti, what is your group?
Sir, I don't know. I'm every group, but I'm not mentioned the group name.
He's part of the group. No, 7, I think. So we were
I'm asking. Okay, Bamboo Enterprise, na? Your company was Bamboo Enterprise.
Yes.
So, okay. One thing, all the groups, what you can do is you just paste your company name. So accordingly, we will discuss. Please paste your company name in a chat box so that accordingly we will discuss.
Tripadi sir. Bharat Candle Industry.
Sir, room number 4, I don't know where to put the chat or the comments, so I'm telling it verbally.
Okay, no problem, ma'am. In a WhatsApp group, you can share because
okay. I have also shared my Excel sheet. If you can see, it is written MSME, and I have written room number 4. I will write the name of the company also there.
MSME. Okay. Bhavna, ma'am, I've shared properly.
Yes. I'm writing it as the name of the company is Happy Cow.
Ranjan
Happy Cow. Yeah, since it's a veg restaurant, so we are naming our restaurant as Happy Cow.
Ranjan ji, are you there? I am waiting for your response regarding that environment. Are you there? Ranjan ji?
So can we start off with the Bamboo Enterprise?
Dr. Clement, I have shared in the chat WhatsApp group also.
Okay. So do you remember which is our room number?
Room number 3.
Room number 3. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I have already shared this in the WhatsApp group and also in MS Team chat box also. You can download from there.
Okay. Ranjan Singh, right? Your full name.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So
should I share?
Hope everybody have shared your file either in a WhatsApp group or in a chat box. Now let's pick up the Bamboo Enterprise.
Ma'am, I'll just give a brief and you can start off column by column. Shahid here, sir. Yeah. And our team consisted of Anuradha ma'am, Samir ji, our main consultant for Bamboo, and Kamil ji, and Miss Mohapatra, and myself, Shahid, and also the person who has fallen sick on account of COVID. Okay, and we started off, we were a little jittery. We actually got into page number 9 to start off with and got the bird's eye view of all the aspects that are there for ESG. And then we actually made a note. Anuradha ma'am volunteered to put all the aspects, in column form. So we said, let us do a sustainable enterprise in the area of bamboo. And our main benefit was the presence of Mr. Samir, who's a specialist in the area of bamboo related activities, bamboo furniture, and he works out of Maharashtra. So we actually started off with the primer of economic and environmental because we found them to be the smallest and the shortest. So we thought, let us tackle on that. Anuradha ma'am, you can start off now. I'll also pitch in as we speak.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Am I audible?
You're audible.
In economic, how many parameters you have considered Bamboo Enterprise?
Ma'am, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, when we've considered economic performance, we are considering our cost. So all the cost which will be required for transportation, for procuring the material, because that's a major issue with respect to bamboo. Plus, we'll be also looking at our labor costs. I mean, all the costs that you consider for manufacturing. So, of course, it becomes an essential parameter for us.
Bamboo Enterprise, can you?
Yes. So you're saying something? Hello?
Ma'am, you go ahead, ma'am. You go ahead.
Yeah. Then we looked at our market presence and we realized that we can sell our products for household usage, for hospitality sector, as well as for offices. And from National Institute of Design, there are specific designs which come out for these products because we are basically into furniture, and our procurement comes from private cultivation. Then when we talk about indirect economic impacts, because our product can be sourced locally, so we can give a lot of employment to the local vendors or the local cultivators or rural cultivators. Also, bamboo can be a product which can be cultivated in a specific tribal belt. So that will also be of a benefit. Then when we look at our procurement practices, this would be slightly different from the normal manufacturing sector, because we are taking our material directly from either cultivators, and also there are aggregators who would be supplying us our raw material. So we could not get much time to go into the detail as to how our vendor selection or how those practices will be there. But
ma'am, in social, what are the indicators you have added?
Social indicators, I think that is where we fell short. We couldn't. I would ask Shahid sir to speak about the social indicators, because that is where we couldn't write, because there are so many.
We could not write, but we actually discussed.
We discussed.
Yeah.
But we couldn't write everything.
Yeah, and ma'am, if you could just take it up a little bit, I will just discuss that.
Sure. Is it visible now?
Yeah, it is visible now. Sarji, what we have color coded as red, we'll be negating it and not taking into consideration. So as far as the social aspects were concerned, one point that came about was the labor management relations. In fact, we learned and understood from Samir ji that at times, there will be issues as far as the labor force is concerned. And the OHS aspect, we actually initially just negated it, but then we revisited that and found that whenever they are actually manufacturing it, there are a lot of issues at that point, because we learned that boric powder is being used. Of course, now an alternative has been picked up in the form of neem, which would be considered to be used on the bamboo per se, for the simple reason it normally gets eaten up by the insect. Training and education, yes, it has to be done. So we have also considered that. And another beauty of this particular business is that the diversity and equal opportunity, equal remuneration, when we look at it as a clubbed entity, the women dominate the whole process of employment here. And in fact, Kamilji was able to assess, after he did his due diligence and also looked up, he said that the women at times are paid slightly higher. Kamilji, would you like to make a comment on that? Go ahead, please.
Shahid, can you tell us that what are the indicators or disclosures which you have not included as a materiality topic in a bamboo enterprise?
In the social area, we have actually discussed, but we did not.
Bamboo enterprise group.
Kamilji, your comment?
Yes, sir. Actually, about the diversity and equal opportunity, the women's are dominating in the furniture furniture manufacturing part. But one of our colleague also, suggested that there is, the performance-based, remuneration. So obviously, the two of the genders that I would say right now, the two of the genders have the different roles in the whole process. Say, for example, they are also there's also a part of the whole process that involves higher strength, and then there is a part of that needs dedication and determination. So obviously the whole process inculcates the contribution from both of these genders. Specifically, so obviously there is a possibility for equal remuneration, there is a possibility for diversity and equal opportunity as well. And about child labor, I guess that we have discussed that there is a minimal, possibility for the child labor as well. So
yes. And also the item number which is showcasing as 45 indigenous rights, the whole thing is actually with the tribal and with the rural folk, so we can actually set that also aside. Okay. Anuradha ma'am, would you like to add something now?
No, I think we've almost covered everything. Only we're not very sure about, the process of collective bargaining and
Yes, yes.
because we're not very sure, how it actually works because not being a traditional industry, otherwise in a manufacturing industry, all this will have to be considered. So
yes.
on that point, we're not very clear.
Yeah. Ma'am, if you could also go back to the overall one point was there, no? So,
Yes, 1 point. And even in this...
here. Sir, if you see
here.
item number 19, we didn't understand what overall was.
So we haven't been able to write anything over there.
Yeah, anything over there. And to just give a conclusion, Samirji, would you like to make a comment for about 90 seconds and tell us how exactly bamboo contributes to sustainable business as an MSME? Samirji, aap boliye abhi.
Thank you for giving the opportunity. मैराथन तो नहीं है बोलने के लिए सर एक्चुअली मैंने देखा सब जगह मैराथन में मेरा को मिलता है एक्चुअली आप जितना एसेस किया बहुत अच्छा है बट मैं तो हर दिन काम करने वाला तो इतना प्रैक्टिकल है बट आप लोग जो बोला एक चीज है अभी इज द कंटेंट ऑफ चाइनीज को गाली नहीं देना है इंडियन को हम लोग खुद करना है फर्नीचर जो है अभी इन ग्लोबल सेक्टर में कंट्रीब्यूशन है फर्नीचर के लिए 28% कंट्रीब्यूशन है प्रोडक्ट में 28 प्रोडक्ट जो अभी नहीं दे पाता जैसा गाना मार्केट है सबसे बड़ा गाना मार्केट है यूरोप जो इस तरफ का जितना मार्केट है हम इंडिया का मार्केट छोड़ दिया फॉरेन मार्केट में भी हम लोग जाने से बहुत डिमांड है बट इसको प्लांटेशन जो हमारा पास जो सप्लाई है सप्लाई रॉ मेटेरियल सप्लाई कम हो जाएगा कम भी है नहीं दे पाता है क्योंकि सप्लाई जो करने के लिए तो उसका स्पेसिफिक टेक्निकल जैसा स्किल चाहिए अभी एनआईडी तो कर रहा है बट एनआईडी के जो गुरु डिजाइन गुरु एम्पिरंजन नहीं है अभी गुजरात तो बट इसके लिए तो सब स्किल अच्छा स्किल होना चाहिए तो स्किल जितना भी स्किल अच्छा है प्राइवेट प्लेयर अच्छा कॉम्पिटिटिव कर रहा है बट और भी करने से और भी अच्छा है जैसे महाराष्ट्र में अभी 2 साल से पोर्ट पिकअप ले रहा है बैम्बू सेक्टर का इतना सुइटेबल जैसा एग्जांपल इसका साथ जो पार्ट हो गया बैम्बू को इतना पार्ट है रूट से टील तक जहां जो यूज कर सकता है कोई टेक्निक बस वही है
Thank you, Samir ji. I think, Professor, you will have a good enterprise with Samir ji as a good consultant for bamboo and all of us working along with him to ensure all the norms of ESG are met. Thank you, sir.
So should I stop sharing?
I think so, ma'am. Yeah.
I'm stopping sharing so that we can.
So that others also can share now.
Yes, I'm stopping it now.
Thank you, Anuradha ji, Kamil ji.
Thank you, all the group members.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Holy cow. I'll come on the comments at the last.
Okay, sir.
Holy cow. There is a company named Holy Cow.
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead, ma'am.
Sir, we've done something different since we are we actually did not understand, but we went according to Vishakha ma'am, Shruti and Mili, and there's one more lady, I forgot her name, Suvaya ma'am. Can you all please come? Yeah, so can you all please come online? You all were the team members. They were all the team members here with me, and yeah. So we started with what each G4 is talking about. So we started with a veg restaurant called Happy Cow. So what was the strategy for starting this restaurant was health was our first and foremost mission, and we wanted with the health of the consumer, we also wanted to boost the local economy. So we came to provide locally healthy, chemical free food free with all the chemicals, fertilizers and all that, basically organic for the customers, which will also boost the local economy. And to make sure that the farm to fork concept exist within the local economy, which reduces the carbon footprint of that local area. Then yes, organization profile, we thought it is applicable. So ma'am, do you want to talk about it? Vishaka ma'am? I don't know if... Okay, Asha, can I go ahead?
Yes, please, ma'am. Please,
Yeah.
please.
Then we thought the location could be Rourkela since the FDP is happening and we are all imagining things. So yeah. And then since we are a startup, so we thought the country could only be India for now. We are starting, this is our first venture. And first we thought about the ownership. So we have made it a private limited company. And it can provide within a local area of 50, it can serve people within 50 kilometers of the area. We wanted to, since it is a startup again, the number of employees could be less, like 10 numbers, 2 chefs, 1 at the counter and 2 service people, some 2 cleaning employees, and total the numbers could go up to 10 numbers. And number of operations can be different departments where there can be kitchen, can be procuring department, 1 indenting and all that. So we thought in total a 7 number of operations can happen, where cleaning and sanitizing and hygiene, all these can be included. So net sales, we didn't want to go into numbers, and I am I'm not that good at math. So I suggested we'll say at the end of the year we make 15 to 20% of the profits, and where ma'am suggested that we can write it as 40% debt and 60% equity. Total number of employees covered under collective bargaining, this won't be applicable since the firm size is too less. So it is not applicable to us. What could be the supply chain for our organization? Local farmers, vendors, vendors from the local area who are providing cleaning supplies, and vendors who are providing organic fertilizers and all of those. Significant changes? Not much, not many changes because we've just started. Precautionary approach in any restaurant industry, it is very important to have things like hazard analysis and critical control point, which is HACCP. Then life certification courses are very important for its employees, so that they can talk about ergonomics, they can talk about fire drill safety and all that. Then insurance of the employees. ISO 22000 is also very important because ISO 22000 covers the external and internal audit. Then we are also dependent on customers' feedback to be taken as precautionary measure, or and then POSH would be where sexual harassment we can talk about, and organizational. OSHA can tell us about what could be the right ways to run an organization. So what we are endorsing healthy cooking, healthy eating, healthy packaging. So where we are saying no plastic, and we can use when we can also talk about proper waste management, where the kitchen food can go into making manure and all of that. Then membership association could be FSI. FSI is Food Safety Standards Organization. Food Safety Standards.
And probably you are muted.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. I think somebody muted me.
You are audible. You are.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So association could be with FSI first and foremost. FSI because FSI is Food Safety Standards Association of India, which gives us licensing to run a restaurant. So that can be a membership association. Then the local restaurant chapter where everybody comes together and they follow all the rules and regulations. And then CII. Support would be providing support to the local economy, organic fertilizers, and microcredit to the farmers. Financial statements are applicable. Report is also applicable because we are answerable to our stakeholders. So we have just written all these to be applicable. Then material aspect, we are renting a building, we need equipment, we will need food supply, cleaning supplies, and all of that.
What are the economic dimensions, like specific standards?
For economic?
Yes, ma'am.
One second. I think we will also have to, since we are a very small organization, I don't think we will have PA for something like that. So I'm not very sure on that, sir. I think and apart from that, we will have a purchase bills and financial reports at the end of the year, so that it is available to the stakeholders. That is to be given to the stakeholders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Should I continue or should I stop? Because we've only done this much because the time was limited on our hand.
No problem. No problem. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So can I stop sharing?
Yeah, please.
Thank you so much, sir.
Satya Energy Solutions.
Dr. Clement?
Yes, I am available. Right.
You are able to see my screen, no?
Right, sir. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So good afternoon to everybody. So our team name is Sattva Energy Solution, and in this regard, to introduce, I will request Dr. Clement to have a look on this.
Right. So we have made some deliberation on deciding what this sattva is all about, and it has been derived from a Sanskrit word which means viewer, which we can relate with sustainability and so on. And this company is basically producing lithium batteries for the manufacturing of electric vehicles. And so this is the basic deliberation that we have made. And based on the GRI report, we have categorized the indicators based on 3 parameters: environment, social, and economic. So I think, sir, you can take the lead to discuss about the environmental factors, right?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Right.
First of all,
Yeah.
we are looking after what will the environmental aspect of this project. So as per this GRI standard, different criteria are for environment. So according to that criteria, we have tried to write down what will the various parameters. Like materials used for this project, as sir has told that we are in the process of MSME energy solution called Sattva Energy Solution. We are here to manufacture lithium-ion batteries that can be used in every energy storage sector, like EV, particularly EV, and energy storage sector like inverter batteries also. So here we are manufacturing lithium-ion battery storage cells. So for this MSME, the basic key is the raw materials. So as per the standard, what are the renewable materials to be used? Currently, we don't have any data, but we have an assumed that approximately 1,000 ton of materials will be used per month. So we have calculated per month basis here because we don't have any data for yearly basis. So we have tried to calculate it as renewable and non-renewable type material, 700 tons and 200 tons. And percentage of material that can be recycled is 100 tons. And to make this project, total energy consumption would be 5 lakhs million of units per month. And for this internal usage, it will be 4 lakh million tons. And for outside of the organization, it will be 1 lakh million tons. And under the category of reduction in energy consumption, we have made a target of 3% of reduction in energy consumption per annum. And reduction in energy requirements for product and services will be reduced by 1% per year basis. Next, the total amount of water consumption will be from a source will be 5 lakh cubic meter, and the source of water will be one which will be nearby a river. And the total percentage of volume water which will be recycled will be 15%. That means total amount of water we are using will compel to recycle 15% of quantity. And regarding biodiversity, we have not researched much how it will impact on biodiversity because this is a very vast area in this regard. So we have not discussed much more regarding biodiversity and left it blank. Next, emission. Due to lack of time, we have not also considered more on greenhouses, indirect greenhouses, and what are the factors we have simply left it back regarding these greenhouse effects. And for effluent waste part, total water discharge by quality and distance will be 50,000 cubic meter, and out of which total waste disposal will be 500 ton per month. and the number of volume of segments during transportation will be 0. And regarding economic part, I will hand over to Dr. Clement for economic part. Dr. Clement.
Thank you, Professor Ranjan, for your insights. I was dealing with this economic impact. We have found that 6 main indicators, and first main indicator is market performance. And we are estimated to generate a profit of around 1 crore for the next financial year. And we made some risk assessment which is pertaining to climate change. And we have categorized some of the systematic risks such as the interest rate and so on, which we are going to face in the upcoming year. And we also got 10 lakhs of loan under the Mudra scheme from central government. And as far as the market presence is concerned, we have taken 1:2, which means that out of 2 men, we have took 1 woman in our board of governance. And as far as the local community is concerned, out of 4 people, we have taken 1 person as a local community. Professor Ranjan, is it possible for you to scroll down a bit? Professor Ranjan?
Yes, yes.
Right. Please scroll down.
Is it okay?
Could you please scroll? I think it is. Yes, this is perfect. Due to paucity of time, we were unable to deliberate on indirect economic impact or the procurement practices. But as far as other indicators is concerned, we do believe that we do engage in occupational health and safety, training and education to the employees. We also give importance irrespective providing equality irrespective of any gender and so on. And also we deliberated that we will be giving equal remuneration for men and women. And I also would like to acknowledge my group members who have contributed, and within short span of time, they were able to give a lot of details. So thank you everyone, especially Professor Anshu and Ms. Gaganpreet, who have cooperated a lot. And also I would like to acknowledge others as well, even Professor Ranjan, who have equally contributed a lot. Thank you so much. Yes.
Professor Anshu, want to have a insight on this? Professor Anshu.
Yeah, that's okay from my side. The only point that I could add over here, that if we just look at the social impact of the product that we have chosen for today's deliberation, that will definitely contribute towards better air quality and health, and even it is very much beneficial for the domestic economic development of the country as a whole. So it is going to provide environmental benefits as well, because it is a kind of a model that we have chosen for clean, which comes under the clean energy program as such. So it is not focusing only on the cost benefit analysis, but we have tried to focus upon the social cost benefit analysis. And I am really thankful to other members also, like Miss Vinanti was there, Amit Kulkarni ji was there, and Frida was there. So I'm thankful to all uh, those who have supported for doing this project in a very short span of time. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, madam.
So next group, another group. I'm not able to see the name of the company. So group number 6. Madam, who's group number 6? Room number 6.
Sir, we finished our presentation.
Okay.
The bamboo group.
Enterprise.
Yeah.
Another groups? Is there any another group who want to present?
Number 1.
Yeah, please go ahead.
The room number 1 group, iron ore company.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. Raghavendra ji and Marugan ji. Hello. Dr. Raghavendra ji.
Document is with Raghav. So
Raghavendra ji.
it is not uploaded. Sir, basically, sir, Manvendra ji, what we have done, we have created our company. The company name is Rourkela Room Number 1. And we have actually the manufacturing sector.
Iron ores.
What we are doing, iron ore refinery. So basically, we take the bullets and we refine the ore and we produce the steel. So that's a company, manufacturing company, and economic, environmental, and social, all three categories. We have gone through each criteria, and we will be disclosing against each
All the aspects.
criteria. We will be disclosing with the realistic factors, either in terms of economic, environment, and the social.
Climate change.
So we have mentioned the
Social
Excel sheet
factors.
that is with Raghav. So Neelam, is it uploaded in the WhatsApp and in
Professor
the chat
Neelam is
box?
uploaded.
Where is it actually?
Dr.
And in the
Neelam.
chat box I couldn't find. And the chat box I couldn't find.
Name of the
Raghav,
company.
Neelam.
We are having a sustainable.xls file. The candle we have. Wait a second. Number 1 is there.
No, this one is good.
Every point you are disclosing.
This one is. Yeah.
EC3 you are not disclosing.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Yes, all aspects are disclosing.
Okay. Up to environmental, you are disclosing everything. How about the social one?
Social work by set up school, ITI and polytechnic in the local region of the industry, and also a medical hospital to extend the medical facility, health facility in the local region. And also greenery, we have set up a greenery belt that is plant by foresting edge to set up industry. Deforestation also take place. So to improve the surroundings, we have set up we have a plantation and forestation, and also equal remuneration for genders, male and females, and we refrain the child labor. So we produce a skilled worker, skilled persons utilizing our ITI and polytechnics. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah. And that.
Okay. So the group
share the PPT.
PPT. Sir, actually, we do have a shortage of time, so we'll because you're disclosing us everything. So
yeah. We have only marginal profit 10 to 20%. As we have fulfilling all the norms of rule and regulation to set up a iron or industry in the Rourkela region. So we have a net profit in a small percentage, around 10 to 20%.
Okay.
Okay.
So, another groups?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Another groups? Because till now 4 groups have presented. Candle company, Bharat Candles. There was a candle company.
Sir, good evening, everybody. I think Group 4 has been diversified into 2 different companies based on the interest. I think myself, Chakravarti and Tripathi sir only we were able to, and one more madam, we were able to make up a small presentation on this Bharat Candle company. I think that Happy Cow is fine enough. I think if you want us to share something about our Bharat Candle company, we don't mind sharing that, sir, for Group 4.
Please share your thought on Bharat Candle.
Sir, surely, sir. I'm just sharing the document, sir. Sir, unable to share it, I'll just discuss outlines of it, sir.
No problem.
Yes, sir. It's a Bharat Candle company. It's a small MSME company. We're planning to put up in Telangana. The economic factors we plan to include GRI 201, which includes the economic performance of the company. 202, which constitutes our market presence. 203, which constitutes the indirect economic impact. 204, we're putting up, which constitutes the procurement practice. 205 and 206, which constitute the anti-corruption and anti-competitive behavior. We have excluded 207 because a new startup is tax haven for 5 years. And with reference to social factor, we will include only labor practices and decent work. Human rights will not come under this particular industry, as the labor would be around 15 to 20 would be the workers working down here. And with reference to environmental factor, the effluent and waste product of petroleum and sugarcane industry, we are trying to clear off the wastage of these 2 industries in making the candles. So we are indirectly helping for this environmental factor part of it. Apart from that, with reference to energy, green energy, we can put it as the candle as green energy. If there is no electricity, we can go about instead of using the batteries or UPS kind of thing. I think this could candles would help us out in making for the green energy, sir. These are the outlines of it, sir.
Okay. So is there any other group who want to present or?
Yeah, sir. I'll present. Just a minute.
Yep.
Just a minute, please.
Yeah, please take your time. No problem.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so basically in our group, there were predominantly 2 of us. Again, we had some network issues, so we were really not able to speak much. But based on whatever discussions that we had, and plus there was one more gentleman who had contributed. So what we had decided is that ours will be a textile industry. Especially because in June 2020, government had given a boost by getting by changing the definition of MSME in textile industry to bring more textile industries under the purview of MSME. So we have taken textile industry. Under that, I will just quickly say that all other parameters will be included. I will just speak about the parameters which will not include in our particular GRI. One is that the biodiversity, because we feel that it is not relevant to textile industry, not material to our industry, so we will not be including biodiversity, and also we will not be including environmental compliance because we are an MSME outfit, and having an environmental compliance when it is not required or asked as of now, till the time it is not required, we will not be doing it because it will be a high cost and a burden on an outfit like ours. Also, supplier environment, mostly suppliers are farmers, or you can say uneducated people who are uneducated, stakeholders who are not who may not have access to bookkeeping or record keeping. So to enforce them to have records, or it's a very highly unregulated supply chain, so it will be a challenge, which we saw in our in the various talks by experts. They feel that even for the 1,000 market capitalization companies find it difficult, or not really speaking about suppliers. So I think so for us, we thought it was not relevant as of now, so we won't be disclosing that, not material as of now. Other important aspect, this was for environmental. Then we go on to social. In social, the two aspects we would not like to include is freedom of association. That is, given that it will be a very small, close-knit unit, more like a family member. So we are not looking forward to having, a trade union or something like that. We hope to resolve all the issues among ourselves. And also, textile industry, it's being set up in a village, but not in the forest area or any specifically located where there are indigenous people. So this is not going to be included in our report. So this is where this is our inputs as far as our group room number 5 is concerned. Anything
Wonderful.
to be?
Wonderful contribution, ma'am. Any other group who want to present? Like we have one more group left. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
group number 2.
Yeah. Please,
Sir, we are group number 2.
Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Sir, is it visible?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, sir. We are Kripa Enterprises. We are focusing on coconut oil and allied products, and we are functioning in Kerala in 3 different. We have 3 different plants. Okay. With regard to the indicators we have selected, in market presence we have included market proportion of senior. We have should we focus on excluded or included for both?
Both.
Sir? Both.
First
Okay.
focus on included, then we can focus on the excluded one.
Okay, these are the included one. We haven't been completed yet, but in economic we have included direct economic value generated and distributed, financial implication and other risk and opportunities because of climate change, and coverage of organization defined benefit plan obligation and financial assistance received from government. And we have excluded from that proportion of senior management hired from the local community at a significant location of operation, and it's because we are running in a small scale and we doesn't have much branches. We want to concentrate our control on control, so we are not like much specific about hiring senior management personnel from local community. And in the indirect, okay, then development and impact on infrastructure investment and services are supported. These are included. And in environmental, we have included materials used by weight or volume, percentage of materials used by our, because we are running a coconut based industry. So we have parts that we can recycle very easily, like
and environment friendly products too, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Support. Okay. Then in energy, we have included energy consumption within the organization. energy intensity and reduction of energy consumption, because we have we are planning to shift to a traditional methods of coconut oil extraction, like drying in sunlight and that all kind. We are planning, like we are in the process of shifting, so we have included that too. Reduction in energy requirements of products and services, and total water withdrawal from by source, and percentage at total volume of water recycle and reuse. We are for washing, all the things used for water used for washing and all, we are using for its for the like cultivation also. And in the case of biodiversity, operation sites on most of the coconut is coming from we are sourcing it from our own land or land, through our own cultivation. So we are including that. Habitat protect and restore. We are helping, assisting in restoring some of the nearby mangrove forest which is there in Kerala. And emissions, we have included direct greenhouse gas emissions and reduction of GHG, because since I have already told, we are planning to shift, like in the process of shifting from shifting to a traditional way of, so we have included that also. And what we have excluded is one already said, and proportion of spending on local suppliers at significant location of operation, since we are sourcing our product, our coconut, our firm with our own lease land and our own cultivation. So we don't have much concentration on suppliers. And energy consumption outside the organization, our industry doesn't like our firm doesn't affect outside. So water, in case of water sources significantly affected by withdrawal of water. We are not much affecting water sources because our cultivation is such like it doesn't require much more amount of water, and we are sourcing it from the nearby water resources, so it doesn't actually much affect our doesn't much affect any water resources. Description of significant impacts of activities, products and services on biodiversity in protected areas and biodiversity. Our plan is not located in such areas, and we doesn't have any impact on that, so we didn't included that. And total number of red listed species, we are not affecting. Our operations are not affecting any kind of that. So any kind of red list species, so we are not including. And by level of extinction, greenhouse gas emissions intensity. This is not a concern in case of our firm, so that we are not including. And the rest, we have already done this myself.
Okay, so we have listened all the participants, all the groups as such. So let me show you why I have given you this assignment. It is primarily because so that you can have a knowledge about, because from last 2 days we have been discussing and listening about all these aspects. So, and most importantly, you will have a practical exposure of these aspects. Though your time was quite less for discussing about all these things, the most important reason behind that was that I have already conducted this research in 2018 related to the sustainability reporting in MSMEs, especially in the manufacturing sector. I just wanted to check that how many of you will go very close to the indicators which are supposed to be used for specific standard disclosures. So I'm sharing one of the research. My screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you look into these disclosures which are mentioned here, we have conducted a very extensive study in this area in MSMEs, especially in the manufacturing sector. We have spoke to the stakeholders, analyzed the what you can say, the annual reports, and speak to these people. And most importantly, all these the companies which we have used in our research, they are the listed companies, basically listed in BSE SME. So annual reports were available with the BSE SME, and we visited these websites, spoke to these people, and in the annual report, because they are not supposed to publish any of the specific sustainability reports. So we visited their annual reports, and from there we extracted the data and conducted this whole research. And based on the total analysis, we came up that if we share, if you see here, GRI G4 specific standard disclosures compared the process which I am talking about, that with the international MSME sustainability reports compared with the sustainability journals which are available. And then we have compared with the BRR and NVG guidelines, which we have discussed, that business responsibility report and national voluntary guidelines in India, which have been given by the BSE and MCA. Then we have conducted this techno business analysis out of which finally we end up with the 47 indicators. So if you see here, finally, and the industry, these MSMEs are basically from these particular sectors, containers, electricity, etc. So we do know that these indicators does not means that they will fit into each and every industry, not exactly. But if we analyze these, especially with respect to the MSMEs, we can find that these are the final indicators we end up with. In economic performance, we were having, these are the GRI codes which are there. So in economic performance, we were having EC1, 4, 5, 6, and 9. You can check out in your reports how many you have been very close to these things. Then in environmental disclosures, in material, we were having EN1 and EN2. In energy, 3 and 5, 6. In water, we were having 8 and 10. Few have been excluded because in the annual reports or in the discussion, we find out that they are not material for these companies. As one of the group has mentioned that being a small company, it is quite burdensome for us also for including each and everything in our disclosure, because we do not have a sufficient amount of sales force or people who can do all these kind of analysis. So yes, if something is quite costly for us, we are not going to report that. So in emissions, we were having 15, 18, 19, and 21. In effluent and waste, 22, 23, 24, and 25. In product services, 27, 28. Compliance and investment, we were having 31 and 32. But when you talk about the social disclosures, you'll find out that almost very few have been neglected. So if you see 1, 2, 3, 4 has been negated, 5, 6, 7 has been negated, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 have been negated. So almost in labor practices and decent work, almost every indicator, because be it as a small company or a big company, you have to report. And they have reported in their annual reports also. In human rights, 2, 3, 5, and 6 have been there, somewhere around 8 or odd numbers are there. In society, we were having in society, we found out less numbers. 1, 2, and 8 have been there. In product responsibility, though again we have found out only 4 indicators for in the research. So this is a research we have conducted in almost in 6 months of duration. Out of some 39 or 40 MSMEs are there. This exercise was to understand that how closely you can go, because here you are not in only in this workshop in 8 sessions. You have gone through these different set of parameters, etc. But the effort, if I would say, it has been commendable, which have been made by few of the groups, particularly if I say the last group and last group, they have did a wonderful job. The Satwa group have been more descriptive in nature, and they have set the targets also, even though the job role which you guys have done, it is commendable, undoubtedly. So this was a basic thing which I just wanted to communicate to you, that in MSMEs, when we are talking about, it is comparatively difficult that we cannot enlist each and every disclosures which is there in a GRI. As somebody was talking about the human rights, that human right is not there in us, why we should engage and include into that. But let me tell you, in the latest disclosures of the GRI, it is something which is very mandatory. You have to make it in your universal standards also. You need to define all these things in your universal standards. So this is what the outline is. This exercise was primarily to give you a glimpse of GRI in detail and to understand that how closely you are meeting with the research which has already been published in the same area. So with
So will
this,
you be
guys,
sharing? So will you be sharing the paper?
Yeah, obviously. I'll share this in a Google Drive, and it is available on Google Scholar also. So you can, I'll share it here itself in a Google Drive, so you can go through that. 2 different set of papers are there in the same area, so you can go through that. So thank you guys for your active participation, because this session has been of around 2 hours and 25 minutes till now. But the numbers are quite good. So thank you all. Thanks for your active participation and contribution in this session. Tomorrow we will be having 3 regular sessions, and that they all are experts in their area. First session will be on manufacturing industry. The speaker will be from the industry itself. Second will be in the service sector. The speaker will be from industry itself. Third will be on the role of sustainability reporting in HEIs, that is higher educational institutions. So those who are working in the area of HEIs or education, that will be helpful. How sustainability can be included in HEIs, that will be highlighted in that particular session. So all the 3 sessions will be totally experiential. All the experts are from the industry, so you'll have a good insight about the sustainability reporting and its practices in the respective institutions or organizations. So with this, we are winding up the session. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your presence.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you, sir.